I would like to thank Ubisoft for providing me with an early copy of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown for PS5. So I recently completed Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and honestly I loved it. This game went above and beyond my expectations and delivered an excellent experience. But naturally, if you are interested in hearing what made this game so great, or if it's even for you, then you will want to watch the rest of this review, as your taste in video games may not line up with what this title has to offer. I also want to point out that I did play 90% of this game on the PlayStation Portal, so if you are looking for a good title to play on your PS Portal, this may be the one. Before we dive in, please do me a favor and take a second of your time to hit the like button. It will help my review reach more people, and I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you in advance for doing so. The story of Prince of Persia is not one that is incredibly deep, but it is still well thought out and put together. You play as Sargon, the youngest of the immortals, a group of warriors, all having their own gifts and abilities. These warriors are to protect the kingdom of Persia, all led by Varum. Sargon in particular is agile, dual wields, and obtains many powers along the story of the Lost Crown. The story starts as the Queen summons the immortals on a rescue mission that leads them to Mount Koth and its ancient city. It is a mysterious land and home of the Simurgh, which is the god of time and knowledge and the protector of the Persians. However, the Simurgh has been missing for 30 years. Imagine that, going missing as a god for 30 years. With time at Mount Koth not following a natural flow, timelines get intertwined as all living beings seem to be cursed by temporal anomalies. So Sargon and the many characters you encounter are interesting and invoke a desire to keep playing to see how the story ends. It really just captured me in that way to want to know, who is Sargon? What's going on with this guy, these immortals? How's this world gonna play out? And is this 2D platforming Metroidvania game going to truly shock me in terms of a storytelling perspective? And to be honest, it kind of did in some ways. While I didn't find its story to be exceptional, it was still enjoyable and had me interested through to the climax. Now, the biggest part of Prince of Persia is its gameplay, and it does not miss, not in any way at all. This is a 2D Metroidvania, so you will be platforming and battling it out with many bosses and enemies. When you start the game, you'll be granted with many difficulty modes and the ability to fully customize your experience through accessibility settings to help you get the best experience possible. You will also have a choice between two game modes, Exploration and Guided. Exploration mode gives you minimal map information, really truly putting you in a Metroidvania experience if that's what you're looking for, or you can jump to Guided mode, which allows you to have a much easier navigation experience, giving you more information on the map, such as blocked paths, open paths, and objective locations. As Sargon, you are able to jump, dash, slide, and run. You will be dual-wielding swords and obtain new abilities like the bow. Sargon can also dodge and parry during combat, red attacks being the only ones that cannot be parried. Yellow attacks, when parried though, will allow for a cool animation to be displayed. There are also amulets that grant perks and modifiers for Sargon, which can also later be upgraded. These amulets are equipped to Sargon's necklace, which start with a small capacity that you can later increase to allow you to equip more. Sargon also has special abilities called Athra Surges. These are unique powers that become available once you fill your Athra Surge bar, which goes up to level 3. And 2 Athra Surges can be equipped at any time with only one of any given level. So you could do a level 1 and a 2, or any other combination between 1 and 3. And most of these abilities are really cool to see. They do a lot of damage. Sometimes they're support abilities. It depends, right? I haven't unlocked every single one, but of the ones that I have, I found them to be very useful and added more layers to the game. As you progress, you will collect feathers, though, from the god Simurgh, and this will unlock new time powers. Memory shards are also used for navigation purposes, allowing players to take a screenshot and tie it to the map. This should help you remember to go back to places you otherwise could not reach before, and even more so if you're not doing the guided experience. The game features a main quest line, side quests, and collectibles, so there's a lot to do within the game. And while you're trying to get around, there are also fast travel altars, which will allow you to jump from location to location, especially when you see the size of this map. It is quite large. There are also Whack Whack trees. Very interesting name, but they are great. They will allow you to save your progression, manage your equipment, which can only be done here, restore your health, restore your healing potions quantity, and act as a respawn points because you probably will die a lot depending on what difficulty you're playing on. Now, along your journey, you will unlock the blacksmith, and this blacksmith is a fiery looking deity, goes by the name Kiva, I believe, and they will allow you to buy new amulets and upgrade your gear. Artaban is also another person that you can interact with, and they serve as a training guide, allowing you to learn the intricate details and combat mechanics that are within this game. If you truly want to learn the depth that this game goes into in terms of combat, you are going to want to go here and definitely learn it, as you're also going to get experience points as well, or crystals that you can later on spend as well. So the mage is another person that you'll be interacting with, and they are shopkeeper, allowing you to buy equipment items and upgrade your potion quantity and healing efficacy, which are going to be integral, especially if you're playing on a harder difficulty. And her daughter, Fariba, will give you hints and give you the option to buy maps, which will be very invaluable. Like, you can only imagine how much direction you get from buying these maps. At least I found that they gave me a lot of direction. As far as resources go, you have time crystals, which are used as a base currency, Xerxes, a rare currency used at a special shop, and also I believe with upgrading items as well. And there's also Azor Damascus ore, which is used for upgrading equipment as well. The combat mechanics offer a lot of depth. As I said before, you will find over time you learn to mix combos, juggling, and special abilities, stringing them together. It's incredibly satisfying. Of course, we can't forget the main event, the platforming and puzzles that you will play through, which will have you incredibly frustrated at times. I can only tell you how many times I was just at my wit's end, not knowing what to do in certain situations, but it was never due to the game, and more so due to the learning curve of the many abilities that Sargon learns that need to be utilized to finish puzzles and platforming segments. Again, very satisfying, but definitely a learning curve there. The depth in gameplay is impressive, though, from every aspect for its genre. I could easily spend an hour just talking about its intricacies, but for the sake of this review, I want to outline what I found most important, and just to give you guys an idea, because I don't want to spoil all the greatness that this game has to offer, especially as far as gameplay goes. With that said, I have no complaints about the gameplay. I feel it's incredibly satisfying to traverse the world and fight enemies with the many abilities that Sargon obtains. Even if the story doesn't appeal to you, the gameplay is so good, it will keep you going, especially when the game respects your time. At no point did I feel this game flat out disrespectful, does not care about me as a person and how much time I'm investing. Now let's talk about the music, graphics, and presentation, which were all on point. The art direction is so stylish in the way it contrasts the characters over dark backdrops, and going into almost a graphic novel-esque frame. The graphics are fitting and refined for the scope of the game. The music is diverse and makes you feel those exciting moments during boss battles. It is not realistic in terms of its art style, but it doesn't need to be, and it shouldn't be, and it does what it intends to do. It really portrays the Prince of Persia world in a Metroidvania fashion. It's exactly what you would want in this genre of game. I am incredibly happy with the presentation of this title. Something I wanted to really touch on, though, is the performance. Prince of Persia runs at 4K 120 FPS on PS5, on Xbox Series X, and it even runs at 60 FPS on the Nintendo Switch, which is very welcomed, especially for a game like this where you're going to be doing a lot of platforming. I ran into a couple small bugs, though, that are expected to be addressed with the Day 1 patch. The patch includes the following fixes: improved balancing of enemies, improved guided performance, UI polish and improvements, better audio mix, bug fixes, and improved trophy descriptions. So even without this patch, the game still runs like a dream and is very fun to play. And that is saying something, especially in the day and age where we are getting broken games on day one. But this is a very well put together game prior to even the Day 1 patch. So after all is said and done, where do I sit on the verdict of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown? And who do I think should buy this game? It surprised me more than I expected. It performed well. The story was engaging, the characters likable, the gameplay was fun. I did not want to stop playing Prince of Persia. These are all signs of a truly great video game. I would give Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown a very strong 9 out of 10. If I did decimal points, boy, it would be really high up there. But because I want to simplify things, we're just going to say a very strong 9 out of 10, which is saying a lot, especially because I did not intend to be this in love with this game. I thought I'd like it, but I didn't think I would love it. It delivers on all its promises and left me happy with the time I spent. I intend to go back for the Platinum Trophy, whether that be right away or eventually. Regardless, I will be jumping back into this game. As for those of you watching who are wondering, should I buy this title? I would say that if you like Metroidvanias, then yes, absolutely no question, buy it day one if it's within your means. If you like platformers, action games, puzzles, and all of the above combined, this is also for you. Let me know in the comments if you will be picking this up or if you are not interested. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Really does go a long way. If you did not enjoy the video, hit the dislike button, subscribe if you're new, and share the video to keep the community informed. I thank you all for watching. Take care.